I'm fucking hot.
I'm hot.
I'm hot.
I'm hot.
I'm hot. I'm hot.
I'm
Here.
hot.
I'm hot. I'm hot.
I'm hot.
It's like, I'm hot.
No, you're hot. I'm hot.
And she's hot.
Oh, wow. That's really hard.
Let's work on it.
Hey, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Mean Girl Pod. I'm Jordan.
I'm Alex.
And happy July.
I cannot believe it's July.
June was probably the fastest month of my life in New York. I don't know about you. It went by so fast.
I think so. You know what I feel like? I feel like I finally caught up to New York. I feel like just about 3 weeks ago did I catch up to. Like, I'll catch myself on the subway sometimes. And I'll be like, I live here. I can go to the store. I don't be like a stranger. I got my streets. I come to the, like, I just feel like I'm finally in the flow.
Yeah. On, I don't remember what day of the week it was, but I went to a workout class and I woke up at 5 a.m., which in New York I don't usually do that, but back in Minnesota I was a very early riser. And I live on the east side, so I went down because I had time before the workout because obviously I got up too early. And I was there really early, so I went to the east side, the farthest east, and I watched the sunrise.
Yeah.
Like, literally saw the sunrise over the buildings, reflect on the buildings. I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen the sun truly rise in my life. And I was like, holy crap. I live in New York.
That sounds beautiful. Like, I have the picture in my head.
It makes me want to like get up at 5 and do this again. I'm not going to just for a sunrise, but I want to. Like, I felt like I was in a movie. It was the weirdest feeling ever. It was just beautiful. New York's beautiful.
New York is beautiful, and somebody pointed out to me, speaking of movies, like, because having lived in LA and having lived in New York, I'll always say I like New York better. It's more substance, culture, energy, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, yeah, have you ever noticed how movies, I don't want to butcher this, movies are made in New York and about New York, but they're just sometimes made in LA. Like, everybody wants to get to New York, and I'm like, oh, wow, that's really interesting.
It is funny because as a society, I feel like we paint New York as like the best place to live in the world.
And I think society
Or
nailed
in
that.
America.
I think society's right.
I'm never leaving. I don't fucking care what people say. People are always like, tell me that in 2 years after you live here. I don't care. I'll stick to my word. I'm staying.
Well, and we're gonna let you have our optimism while we have it.
Yeah. I don't want my New York optimism to ever leave. Like, never.
Yeah, when people are always like, circle back in a year, I'm like, no, let me have this. Let me live right now and have this love. Can I have it?
Why can't we?
We can't.
No one ever lets us live in the present. We don't let ourselves live in the present.
Yeah, we're either do you live more in the future or the past?
Future.
Same, dreaming.
I'm a very futuristic person, which to the point where it like hurts my present lifestyle.
I think that would be better though than living in the past.
Oh yeah,
glorifying or hating or dramatizing the past, but like dreaming of the future. They say, okay, I've been doing this thing where I will lay.
Scary.
It is scary because let me tell you what, you should actually try this. Okay. Everyone should try this. You lay down and you just like breathe in and out. Okay, and you imagine meeting your future self, like you in a year, and talk to her and be like, hey, what about Mean Girl Pod? Or like something like that. And she'll be like, oh yeah, just like find your confidence. Or something like, or like, you're good. Like, we're good. And it's like, if you go and put your brain there, like where you're going, it starts to trick your body. Like, your body doesn't know the difference between the present and then like the future of where you want to be.
Kind of like manifestation?
Exactly like that, but actually imagining having the conversation with you because you did it.
Oh, that's interesting because I imagine futuristic scenarios all the time, but I never actually imagined my futuristic self in that scenario.
So if you're like, okay, I'm manifesting a live show in 6 months. Okay, then you meet your future self and she's like, I was like, yes.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
And we're having one. I'm just kidding. And then you talk to your future self. She's like, yeah, but in order to get that live show, remember, be consistent, play your game. Like, she would talk to you about it, and it's kind of like a cool mental...
Wait, I want to try that.
You should seriously try it. It's crazy.
I really love that.
1 year ago you would think you would be here?
No.
Yeah, me neither. I never thought I was going to do another, like, girl talk show.
Really?
Yeah, I know. I remember that.
Ooh, that's weird.
Yeah. It's really becoming full circle, I feel like.
You wanted to start a podcast, and I was like, hold off, wait for the right time.
She did.
Just start, like, let's not do that. And now look at where we are.
Yeah, did
I really
I tell you that?
No.
Yeah, back in October, Mikey Podcast, who used to work here, I was telling him, like, I would really love to do a podcast that doesn't have to do with pop culture. He was like, oh yeah, Alana's amazing. Let me literally put us in a room together to talk about it. And I kind of laid out some ideas I had with Alana, and she was like, no, don't do it. And I was like, okay. You were very upfront. You're like, don't do it. And I was like, okay.
Wait, you can't just start. It won't make sense.
Yeah. And the right time did come.
That's so crazy though that you were like, wait.
She did. She literally was like, wait. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Pretty much is the message I got from you.
Yeah.
And isn't that though the most true thing ever?
Yes.
Like if you just wait for the right time, like timing does take care of itself.
Truly. And like the way, I mean, I've said this a million times, but the way this podcast happened is so butterfly effect, domino effect. It freaks me out sometimes.
Wait, let me read the text message.
Yeah.
No,
Alex got a text today. Like today, right?
Yeah, literally today at 11:13 a.m. Okay, he said, his name's Daniel, and he's a life coach. He lives in Newport Beach, but he was our friend out there.
Oh, he's a life coach. Even better.
It's not like my random friend
That's
that's
what I thought.
constructs this message to me.
Who's texting you?
He says, let's take a minute to reflect on the origin of Mean Girl. It was born from a really shitty situation, and you all converted it into something incredible. Have you reflected on that recently? Because you should. Proud of you all.
I love that.
And it's like, no, we never reflect on that. Or reflect in general.
So this morning, I was going down to the subway, and this mom was alone with her baby, and she had a stroller, and it's so weird that subways do not have elevators. Like, I don't know how people can get up.
I had to help a guy carry a wagon yesterday.
Yeah, so this lady was like, hey, do you mind helping me carry my stroller with my baby and up the stairs? And I don't know why, but in that moment, I got so emotional because I was just like, oh my God. Like, I don't know why, but it just made me like sit back and appreciate everything in my life. And I was like, I'm going to start crying.
You didn't have a baby?
No, just like helping this, like sometimes humbling moments like that, like hit me in the face. And I'm like, wow, I'm happy with my life. I don't know. Nothing with the baby had an effect. I just like did something and I was like, I don't know how to describe it.
No, you know what it was, I think? The act of helping someone else. So like I'm bad about this, but when I get down or when I'm on autopilot, if I can get outside of myself and help somebody, even say hi to a stranger, it will immediately I'll get like a little emotional because it just was because you finally got outside of you.
Yeah.
And you were like had to help her, and it was like you probably like felt really like human.
Also, so I'm like very OCD and routine, and when I'm doing something, and I was like, I have to get to the office. I'm so rushed. And when she asked me, like I never would have said no, but the first instinct in my head was no. I want to make sure I catch the next subway. And obviously I didn't say that, and I helped her. And then after I helped her, I was like, what the fuck? Like sometimes being perfect and being on time and being routine is not the most important thing in the world. Like
No.
I was literally, my first instinct was to say no to her. Because I was on my schedule. Like, I was more important than helping her and her baby get up the stairs. And I just, that's, I think, what hit me in the face, too. I just need to, I just need to take a step back and be like, Jesus Christ, Jordan, you're a human being. Like, you don't need to make sure you make that subway to get to work for something you don't need to be at work for.
Right. Like, you didn't need to be here till 11.
No, and I got to work at 10.
Yeah.
And it just, I was very humbling this morning. And then it made me appreciate life, and I almost started crying, and I was like, what's going on?
I'm emotional.
I was.
Okay, I wanted to say this when you said, did you think you would be here in a year? Because I look at my, you get those photos that pop up what you did, in 3 years. Okay, so in 3 days, it will be the year of when I, started my Barstool pitch video. It took me, a month to edit it. But I took a photo and I was like, I'm going to start this. And I was like, at the time, I remember thinking, I'm never going to get this job. I can't even believe I'm going to make this video and attempt it. But it was I was like, why don't we just go outside of our comfort zone? We've been in COVID, try something different. So I took the photo with the ring light around my face.
You're just your prof pic for everything almost.
Yeah, it's my Twitter pic.
Yeah.
And Graham was like, in 3 days you started doing this. And I was like, oh my gosh, I never would have thought that I never thought I would end up here. If I did end up here, I'd be doing solely mother-daughter stuff. Then we sit in this room and I'm like, oh my gosh, timing is like so crazy.
You're almost at your year anniversary, which is insane.
No, I'm like 10 months in right now.
That's crazy.
Okay, so speaking of not wanting to grow up, because we've been talking about that, but like
Yes.
we want to grow up.
Yeah.
I was really
Okay. Alex is really good at transitions.
I paralleled the two last night in my head. Because, okay, so I was like, I don't want to hit the year mark.
Oh, got it.
Because it feels so old at Barstool. Until like last week, I was like, no, come on, year mark. Like, I want to see what I've got. Like, I've got a 2-year option renew of the 3rd. And I'm like, let's bust it. Like, gone are the honeymoon stages. Like, gone are me being young. And like, I'm ready to, and I was really excited about that. And I feel like it's the same thing because I just turned a year older. So did you. I used to be like, I don't want to grow up. But now I'm like, no, come on, life. Like, I'm finally like, let's do it. And I feel like when I want to stay younger or when I want to be in my infancy years, like at Barstool, that's when I'm like playing small and I'm like afraid to like look at the numbers or like grow up and like arrive to the party. But now I'm like, no, let's kick it into second gear. And like, it makes me excited to look at life like that instead of looking at it like, no, I'm new here. It's like, no, you're not. You understand. Like, you understand the assignment. Come on.
Oh, yeah. Since pre-New York, I was always afraid to get older. Like, every time my birthday came around, I'd be like, I hate my birthday. I don't want to get older. It's so stupid. I'm not fulfilled in my life. Like, I don't want to get older because I just, like, I'm not doing anything that fulfills me. Since living in New York, this is the first time I've been so excited to get older. But it's truly because I have something that fulfills me, and I'm so excited to see grow.
Getting older
is cool.
It's cool. Like, it's so, what is the word? There's something like warm and fuzzy and like in control about growing up. I think the older, there was a phase where I didn't even want to think about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. But I think you're right. I think it's that we're doing something that we love, we feel passionate about. But also I'm like, I want to take care of myself. Like, I want to see how good can we do it? How good can we treat people? How hard can we work but yet still have a nice balance? Like, it's almost like intentional risk taking becomes like a nice priority with age. Do you feel that?
Yes. Like, the thing about, I don't remember if you said the thing about direction on the podcast or if that was our side conversation we had, where it's cool that we have all this stuff going on, but if you don't have a specific direction you want to go in, like, what's the point? Because having like a good direction and knowing where you're going can change everything that you're doing.
Like we can see we have something to work for now.
Yeah.
Like, I think we don't know what the podcast looks like in a year. Obviously, if we did, wouldn't that be nice? Like, there's just no way to know, right?
Yeah.
But all we know is we're going to give it everything we have. Have you heard of the locus of control?
No.
So it's like the small circle. You imagine 2 circles, a small circle and a larger circle. The circle that we cannot control is like how many people listen to the podcast. I can't control what you're going to show up and say, either of you. I can't control what the person across from me thinks of me or what a listener thinks of us. But what we can control is like we show up, our consistency. I can control what I say.
I like that.
And so it's like, I feel like that goes in line with direction of like, we understand that about ourselves now. And we're just like striving to control what we can control, and the rest has to take care of itself.
Yeah. I also feel like for me, finding something that fulfills me has helped me be okay growing up because a few years ago I felt like I was so codependent on specific things, like codependent on maybe just my friends or codependent on just my job. Like, I always just had like one thing that kind of like brought me through life, which is really scary because, like we talked about in a few episodes ago, it's very claustrophobic because if that one thing ends, like, what's life then? But I feel like with this, like, I know Mean Girl is one thing, but we have so many things within it where I don't know. I don't feel codependent on it, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. It's very freeing.
Yes.
Ever since you made that don't be dependent on anything comment,
Yeah.
I have been like,
don't be codependent.
Sorry, yes, don't be, ever since you made the don't be codependent comment, I've been like checking in all aspects.
Yeah.
Like, I'll even ask myself at home, I'm like, am I dependent on you?
Or, yeah, am I just codependent on Graham?
Yeah, like, do I need you or do I just want you? It's nice to want the thing, but to not need it. And so I've been trying to journal that. But you know when I get mad at something, you know who I get most mad at?
What?
Like me.
Yeah.
Like screaming at myself.
You're very hard on yourself.
I did it the other day. I was just like popping off on me out loud, and Graham was like, oh my God. And I was like, well, hold on. why am I so mad at her? Do you do that? Do you get mad at you? Because I was like so mad at me.
My self-talk is atrocious. Like horrible. I'm so mean to myself.
Half the time I'm like, oh, sweetheart, I am proud of you. I'm like, why the fuck is there not turkey in the refrigerator? Because you can't handle it. I would literally be like, is it too much? Like, grow up. And I'm like, oh, sorry.
You know the saying where it says, talk to yourself like you would talk to your best friend?
Yes.
Start talking to yourself like you would talk to your best friend, Alex.
I should think about it like I talk to you because I find myself only proud of you all the time. And I'm like, oh, she's like teaching me all these things and like
So
I'm really
sweet.
proud of her. And then I'm like, and you? It's like, whoa.
I know, before the podcast started, I was like, Alex, like, I want to hear about your life. You're like, I don't like to talk about myself. I'm like, but people want to know about your life.
No one cares. It's like, God, what, like, I don't know. I think my therapist is trying to pull it out of me, but I'm like, I don't know what happened.
Like, why you're wearing a tank top today and why your hair's up in a bun.
Oh. My attire's recently changed and my hair lives greasy.
Your life is literally being flipped upside down and you're not giving yourself enough credit, and I want to talk about it.
I don't know if we've told people yet or not, but if not, here it goes. I'm fighting in Rough and Rowdy, which is Barstool's amateur boxing match. Thanks.
Which is a massive deal.
I'm nervous,
You have every right to be.
but I'm excited. It's challenging. I never knew why I wanted to do it. I've been obsessed with doing it, and now I'm finally going to do it. And
Since the moment I met you, by the way. That's
Yes.
like one of the first things you ever told me. I was like, she's crazy.
And I don't think anybody ever thought I would do it.
No.
Also, part of me never thought I would do it, which is why I have to do it. But my coach said to me yesterday, I went in and I wasn't being confident, and I was upset. I was like, I don't have the footwork yet. And he's like, it's been 4 days.
It's only been 4 days.
He's like, you've been coming for 4 days, and of course it's not muscle memory for you yet. And he said, but you know who's going to be your worst enemy? Because he's like, you're athletic, and the muscles are registering what's happening. He's like, you're going to be your worst enemy. And he was like, the girl you're fighting is going to bleed the same as you, going to breathe the same as you, and probably train pretty similar to you. But when you get in that ring, he's like, your confidence is going to be the only thing that stops you.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, shit. So I'm going to make or break myself.
Yeah. I feel like boxing maybe will be good for your self-talk as well.
It's going to have to be.
Yeah. Also, whenever you're boxing, do you just like, you know how they're always like picture someone or something that you're fighting? Like, what do you picture?
I picture a very pivotal week in Mean Girl's life where I picture it and I'm like, nobody thought we could do it. And I will like beat that thought up. I don't beat people up. I beat up like thoughts.
I love that.
Yeah.
In the future or past week?
I beat up, so like I'll be like running on the treadmill. Running for long distance of time is like very hard for me. So I'm scared of it. And we don't listen to music when we train. So it's just you and your thoughts.
Oh, shit.
So I was like, well, the first day I was like, I could barely make it. And so day 2, I'm like, what are we going to think of? And I was thinking, I do a mix of like the point where people doubted us, I feel like with this, anybody ever doubting me doubting myself. Then I also will like think of where it can go. And like it only goes there if we believe in ourselves. And like, I just think of all these thoughts and then I'll just like run and I'll just kind of get lost in it. It's really nice. You know what else is hard about it?
What?
The eating that comes with it.
Yeah, how is that going?
I'm very hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very hungry. When I moved here, I couldn't work out.
Why?
I was overwhelmed and it just seemed like too intense. And I had come off like a year of being like really mean to my body. And so I was like, why don't we I didn't have a period. And like, I was like, we got to just chill. Let's like eat and like walk to work. And that's good enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
Now I feel like I'm at the part where I could like the point in my life where I can do this and like really train hard for something, but having to then replenish my body the way I know I have to has been like so hard for me to be like, you're working out, therefore you must eat more.
Mm-hmm.
And like sitting there like, I don't know why that is.
Well, it's because we're not, like, our whole life we're told the only way to, well, being small is good. The only way to be small is to eat less. Even though there's multiple studies out there telling us you have to feel your body, you have to eat in order to be healthy and be, like, have a healthy physique.
You know what I wonder?
What?
Who said, okay, everyone's supposed to eat 2,000 calories a day? I'm like, I'm 5'9".
Mm-hmm.
Am I supposed to eat the same amount as the 6'7" guy and the 5'1" girl? Like,
No.
there's no, and then I'm like, and then who said an avocado is going to be 100 calories and so is a glass of champagne, but the avocado is better? It's like, who's supposed to keep up with these rules?
There's so many toxic rules in this world, and it's also so stupid too because everyone's like, if you got into the science, BMI, TMI, all that stuff is so different where like you could easily burn 4,000 calories a day, so you have to eat more than 2,000 calories to even like live.
Yeah, and it's like it's this terrible. I was eating a pack of my favorite crackers yesterday, and I've never looked at the calories on them. I can't. Like, I'll tape things over calories or I will not eat them.
Yeah.
And I saw it yesterday and I was like, 130 calories for one cracker. So then I had one, and I usually have like 5. And I was just so mad because I'm like, you can't go into this scarcity mode. You know, like, why don't we just eat to feel good? Like, I work so hard in my life every day, I feel like, to not care what people think. I'm like, I don't care what people think of me, but yet I want to be like a size for who?
Yeah.
You ever ask yourself that? Like,
so I've struggled with my body image my entire life. Like, I've gone through highs and lows. It's been really bad. It's been good. And now that summer's approaching, it's getting really bad again. And ever since we've been in not the spotlight, but like jobs where we're more public.
camera facing.
Yeah. I have this like weird thought in my head that the only way to be successful is if I'm a certain size because all women in this industry are a certain size. And I always tell myself I'm not good enough because I'm not as small as X, Y, and Z people who are successful who've been in our shoes in the past. And it's something that affects me every single day. And in my head, I literally think I'm not worthy unless I'm a certain size. And it's something I battle with every day. So yes.
How?
All the time.
Every day?
Yeah. And it's not for me because I could care less personally. It's what other people think of me.
You don't care. Like, okay, wait, walk me through that.
So like deep down, if I didn't see another human being, I would be so content with the way I look.
Would you even care?
I wouldn't care. But so deep down, like me, I'm fine with the way I look. But for some reason, I have this idea in my head that everyone thinks I need to be smaller. And I don't know why. It's something I need to work on. And I think it's because I have told myself you have to be small to be successful.
That's the story you tell yourself.
Yeah.
You have to be small to be successful. Oh my gosh.
Or have like the most beautiful face in the entire world.
But why don't
one
you
or the
think you're
other.
small?
Why
don't you think that you look
I
great?
don't know. I truly don't know. I think it probably goes back to like being called mean words when I was a kid, or like I don't know. Probably I would assume.
And you know what's funny about what you said about like being on camera, I guess, is like it's so weird how when people see a face or a body online, they are just like, you're ugly. But if they saw you in real life, they'd be like, fuck, that girl's beautiful.
Yeah.
But it's weird how the guise of like the internet and the screen is like jaded to especially ugly boys and like that live in their mom's basement.
Someone DM'd me the other
Do you
day,
know
and
what
I
I
think
mean?
he meant this as a compliment, but it was so mean. He goes, "I saw you walking home the other day, and you're way prettier in person." And I was like, "That was such a backhanded compliment.
Right.
Like, why would you say that to me?"
Right.
Because now I'm like, okay, now do I have to make sure I look even better on camera because apparently I don't look good? Like, it's like people don't realize like small comments like that mess with your head. You know what I mean?
Oh, they will. They mess with your
Yeah.
head. When I'm on airplanes, I'll scroll back and look at photos of like times, and like I'll just look at,
times in your life.
yeah.
I was
Times,
like-
yeah.
it's
Like old
Times
old
magazine?
photos. I'll just look at the times. So I'll be on an airplane and I'll scroll back up to a year ago and I'll go to like a friend's wedding and I'll start looking at the photos and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I looked cute, and then I'll remember how I felt during that time, and I would look in the mirror and I would be like, wow, your face is puffy.
Yeah.
Then I look at the photos and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, look how much fun I was having. Like, I'm like, I look cute. But I think back to that feeling of how I felt, and I'm like, I felt terrible. Like, and I'm just like, would berate myself. I wouldn't want to post the pictures. I wouldn't even want to take the pictures.
Yeah.
And it's like, I just wish I could base it off of how I felt.
What box
100%.
are you putting yourself in at that moment that you think makes you think that?
Okay, ask that a different way.
Like, what is the lens that you're seeing yourself in that's giving it like a negative light at that moment? Like when you look in the mirror, then, like, what was the filter that you were seeing?
I think I feel like if I'm not eating pretty healthy or working out or not eating the right amount, then the next morning I deserve to wake up and like look puffy if I didn't obey all of the rules in my head. I'm like, it's like I'm in a race on a track and there's 5 lanes, but I'm in all 5 of them. And every day it's like me versus me versus me versus me versus some new rule, right? Like I just live in like a pond of rules around the food thing. And it's like almost habilitating sometimes. And it didn't used to be like this. Like I wasn't this way in college or high school. It happened later in life. It happened when I got married. It happened when I went on the wedding diet. I thought I was fat on my wedding day. I remember putting on my dress and being like, wow, I am this big on my wedding day.
Yeah, I've seen pictures. You look incredible.
And that's how I know I'm like, I look back at the photos and I'm like, wow, I was like proud of you. Like, you know, you worked out and like you looked great. And then I'm like, but you were so mean to yourself.
Yeah.
Like, but I feel like it makes me feel better to know, like, I think everyone is that way. Like, it's not just us, right?
Oh,
yeah.
All my friends, my mom, every woman in my life, even men too. I also think too, like for me, I know it started back in high school because I was this big in high school. I was the smallest.
Were you really?
Oh my God, I was the smallest girl ever. And it was like genetic. I got so tall. I was like 5'7" when I was in like 7th grade. I just shot up.
Wow.
And I think I was always told, like, everyone always praised me for being small. They're like, you're so small, you're so small, you're so small. And at the time, everyone thinks they're complimenting you, but I think we forget, like, skinny shaming is just as toxic as fat shaming. I don't think we ever should compliment someone based off of their body, because if I was like, Alex, you look so skinny today, I don't know what you did to look that way. For all I know, you could have starved yourself last night. You could have worked out for 3 hours, and then in your head you think, oh, I have to keep doing X, Y, and Z to receive those compliments of looking skinny because she didn't tell me I looked skinny 2 days ago and I ate way more 2 days ago. Like, I don't think people realize that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree with that. It's nice. The best compliment's like, oh, you look cute.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, because I did do my makeup, so thank you for that. But that had nothing to do with anything else about me.
So then growing up, when I like went through puberty and like actually matured and got a more of a woman's body, I wasn't the smallest girl anymore. And like, obviously people stopped saying it, and then it just like messed with my head. 'Cause I'm like, whoa, people aren't praising me for my size anymore. Like, did I do something wrong? So that I think we just all forget, like, body comments, positive, negative, they affect people usually always negatively.
Yeah, I would say always negatively. Bodies, I don't know. I feel like if there's guys listening too, I still am trying to explain this to the guys in my life. My dad, I love him to death, but if I am sitting in the kitchen, like standing and eating like before dinner, he'll be like, whoa, like there she goes before dinner. And like, I can start crying.
Wait,
but same. Yeah. And he's like, honey, who cares? And I'm like, me, I care.
Wait, Alex, my dad literally always goes, stop snacking and we want to make sure you finish your dinner. And I'm like, what if I never finished my dinner? And I tell my mom, like, Mom, he needs to stop because it's triggering and it's making me have horrible thoughts. And she's like, I've told him a million times, and I'm the same way. I want to cry.
I have stood there and just started bawling out of anger of like, why don't you get it? And to them, they're like, what's there to get?
Yes. Oh
like,
my God.
Wow, that makes me feel so much better, because I used to never, I don't know if he used to never do it or I never cared.
My dad's done my whole life.
Okay, I'm like, in high school, maybe he was like, oh, another Eggo, you know? And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, excuse me?
Yeah.
Do not point out what I'm eating.
Never comment on what someone's eating. Ever. The amount, even if it's like how little or how much, like even with you training, like the last thing I would ever ask you is, Alex, are you getting enough fuel? Are you making sure you're eating enough? Like, that's none of my business. None of my business. That's between you and your trainer.
Right. And then me and myself.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, and you and yourself.
And then eat the food.
Like, oh, it grinds my gears. Like, I'll never understand why we put so much pressure on ourselves to be a certain size. Or like why we care. Like, putting on a suit this summer, I'm like, no one cares what I look like but me.
Who do you care what they look like? Do you care one bit what I look like in a swimsuit?
No, and you know what's so funny? So one of my best friends texted me today, and she's like, I'm going through like a lot of bad body image issues. And I texted her, I was like, yeah, me too. And you want to know what's funny? I've never once cared what any of my friends look like. I've never once set their worth based off of their body weight. But for some reason, I do it to myself every day.
Yeah, I could literally care. The only time I actually cared about what you wore was I did think you had a really cute waist, and I was like, you're hiding it.
Well, that's what I feel like. If anything, you think, oh my God, you look so cute and good.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck, I look like shit.
Yes, it's always the
Yes.
comparison.
Well, do you remember when we went out and we were talking about our height differences, and I was saying that I'm short compared to you guys, and it makes me feel less like a woman when I stand next to you. And you guys were saying when you stand next to me, it makes you feel like big.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? I feel so embarrassed standing next to you guys when we go out.
Which is so funny because I feel embarrassed standing next to you because you're so cute and little.
No, I don't.
Short, not little. Short.
I feel like a house.
I feel like
I feel like a
basketball
a
player.
child. I don't feel like a woman. I don't know.
It's
Isn't that
our own
interesting?
lenses. That's
Yeah.
such a good point. Yeah, it's so true. I remember back to spring breaks, and people be in their swimsuits, and I'm like, holy mother of you all look awesome, and then I'm like, and you, and it's like you all probably thought the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
it's so crazy.
I used to growing up, my friends had hot tubs, pools. I used to like make up excuses not to go to them because I would refuse to wear a suit in front of my friends. My friends should be like the one place I feel the most confident wearing a suit in front of. But I used to like deny plans because of like wearing a suit all the time.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Especially if guys were there, I never would go.
Okay, does anybody do this?
Probably.
No. Yes. Yes. We all do this.
Most likely, yeah.
Knowing you have something coming up. Like, okay, so you're supposed to put on a dress on Friday. The Friday before, I'm like, and it's crash course. And I'm miserable.
You don't even want to know what I did before my birthday.
Really?
Yeah, I always do that, yeah. Yeah, it's so bad.
It's the worst.
It's really, really bad, yeah. And then it like gets up or it like hits you, and then all of a sudden it just like it's so bad.
I think it mentally, for us to be like, to berate ourselves and be like, you have to prepare for this.
Mm-hmm.
It's the worst. It's the worst feeling in the world. Like, it's so mean to ourselves.
Yeah, like going to the shore and putting on a suit in front of your friends and your coworkers. No, thank you. I will not be doing that. No, jean shorts will be on the whole time.
That should be illegal.
Literally. Like, but that's what my
But
first
they
thought
don't
is.
care.
No, but one of my first thought was when you were like, you guys were like, come to the shore where you can all like hang out together. I was like, I literally go, you want me to wear a suit in front of all you guys? No.
Jordan's like, no.
I'm like, no. In my head, I'm literally like, it's so messed up. But I'm like, okay, I have to get a cover up that I can keep on the whole time. I have to find cute jean shorts that I could keep on the whole time. Like, that's like the thoughts that not even how much fun I'm going to have. It's going to be what I think of myself. So toxic.
Something changed for me last summer,
Oh,
and
what?
I never
Please
went
share.
back.
Please
okay,
tell me
when
the
I
positivity.
broke my leg, in about a month, I lost 12 pounds, which I don't remember the last time. Probably pre-puberty was when I weighed what I weighed, and before I hadn't weighed myself at this point, and I remember like looking in the mirror and still thinking the same thoughts I had thought about my body.
Because you didn't know
2
your
months
weight.
before. I didn't know my weight. I didn't know how I felt. And I remember like putting something on and being like, ugh, gross or something. And then I went to the doctor. When I saw the number on the scale, I was legit like shell shocked because it kind of all came full circle for me. Like, I always thought if I lost this amount of weight, I would look better, be happier. And then and I felt no different about my body, not knowing the number. And
That's so interesting.
now I went back to like my natural weight, and I don't think about my body the same way I did before I broke my leg.
Wait,
How
that's
do you
very
think of it?
interesting.
I just think I'm hot. Like,
Wait,
I just am like,
can you say that again?
I just think I'm so hot. Like, I do.
yeah!
Because I always had this thing in my head, if I did this, I would feel better and look better. And it just wasn't true. And I realized that it was like a mind thing.
That's so valuable because if you, I've fluctuated all over the place throughout my entire life, and I've been very small. And I always think like I've always told myself, Jordan, go back to the time you were your smallest. Were you happy? Nope, you were your most miserable.
Yes.
I was my
Isn't that
most
crazy?
miserable 'cause I isolated myself from society because I was too afraid to go out to eat with my friends. I was in my head all the time. I was the saddest I've ever been. And then I think about when I was my not heaviest, but my healthiest, and fucking loved life.
Yeah. You know what's funny? Like, hearing Alana say, like, now I just think I'm hot.
I love that.
I thought that was so cool to hear you say. Like, something, a part of me was like, oh my God. And then I imagined me saying that, and I'm like, I could never say that out loud. But hearing you say, I'm so hot, I thought, like, I saw, like, I was like, oh,
A rainbow.
Like, my God.
But you
like,
are,
cool.
like, because now I feel like I look at you and be like, you're so hot. And now I look at myself kind of in that guise that hopefully other people see me as.
Oh my God, you're
But
Yes.
hot.
like, I don't have that self-hate because I was there. I reached this milestone that I thought I wanted to reach without knowing, and I still had that like self-hate thing.
Yeah. That's
so
so
I knew it was
powerful.
fake. Do you know what I mean?
Such a cool moment for you to realize.
It really was. I was like shocked. I remember being at the doctor's office, like completely, like I felt like my world was flipped upside down.
Wow.
So your takeaway was like, I don't know. It doesn't matter. I won't be happy even if I lost 100 pounds. Like it doesn't exist.
It made me realize that all that self-hate is like completely not real. It's like being afraid of the dark.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not real either. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I don't know what size I am ever anymore.
I can't go on a scale.
Oh, no,
that's
no.
good.
I'm
That's
saying,
good for you.
Yeah, I
think.
can't go on a scale. I'm saying even
Scales
looking in
are
the mirror.
crazy.
Oh, same.
I'm like, no idea. Lost it. Can't remember.
Oh my God. It's amazing what our mind can play tricks on. But like something that comforts me in a really fucked up way is
Wheels are turning.
It like I always think I'm like, okay, I have people in my life of all different sizes, smaller than me, bigger than me, my size. None of us are happy. Like that sounds really fucked up, but like it makes me realize like we all are struggling with our size, no matter if we are the ideal size that society tells us or the size that society tells us not to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
Wait,
definitely.
What started turning in your head when I said that?
Well, I was thinking, could you say I'm hot?
Could I say that you're hot?
No, you're hot.
Oh yeah. Can you
No.
say about yourself?
I'm still working on my confidence. No, I can't say that.
No, same. And I think we should try to say it because, like, when she said it, I was like,
I believed Alana when she said
Same.
no.
I believed
I
it.
was like, hell yeah, you fucking
Yeah.
are. Which I can like feel that energy from you, which makes you even hotter.
Yes.
Oh my God, thank you.
You like I knew
God,
you were gonna
thank
say
you.
that. I was like, she radiates
Yeah.
it.
You do radiate
Oh my
like
God, thank
confident.
you.
I'm hot.
Also,
Yes.
the whole time we've been having the body image talk about even talking about it on here, I could tell she didn't have it.
Yeah.
You and I are
I
like,
just got out
okay.
of it one day. Like it's hard to explain, but I feel like when I look at myself in the mirror now, I look at like the essence of me rather than like, oh, my thighs look bigger than usual.
Mhm.
I'm like, I am, as the essence of myself, I'm hot.
Yeah.
Like when I walk to work, I feel like a hot girl going to work.
and you can walk and you have like the strength and like the fuel in your
Yeah.
body to do it.
Right.
Oh, I read this book one time just the other day, and the girl said,
I read a book one time
This
just
one
the other day.
recently though.
my most recent book I read, she said, she's like, okay, I can weigh, let's say I weigh 10 pounds. I can weigh 10 pounds and murder myself, make myself go to the gym and not eat a lot of food. I can weigh 10 pounds, eat whatever I want, work out some and not even think about it. But no matter what, I weigh the 10 pounds. Like nothing in me changed.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm so much happier if I'll just let go of it. Like, in fact, you might even weigh 9 if you just let go. Like, if you're
yes.
just happier about it. Like, if you can get to that place where, like, I'm hot no matter what. Like,
Yeah.
there are days where I will starve to fit in a dress, and there are days where I will make myself try it on when I feel my worst, and the dress fits the exact same.
Yes, I think we forget how hard it is to gain weight sometimes.
Just relax about it, and I
Yeah.
guarantee we're fine. I'll be like,
Also, we're freaking females. Hormones, people. Every week we're gonna fluctuate. Also, we're females, people. We need beautiful like fat on our body so we can produce if we want to produce children one day. Like,
Yes.
female bodies are these magical things that do all these crazy things, and I feel like we forget like we need to fuel it in order for it to do these crazy cool things.
Mm-hmm.
That's so true. Like the amount of worry that we place on our bodies and like the amount of space it takes up in our brain is A, terrible, so mean to you.
Yeah.
But B, it's so unnecessary. Like, just, you're so right. Like, I just want to relax sometimes and be like, eat the fucking full avocado and then another one if you want to.
Also,
Who taught us these rules?
we're all gonna die one day, and I'm sorry, but it's not gonna matter if you're a size 0 or a size 20. We're all gonna die, and no one's gonna fucking care what size you were, okay?
When you really didn't change sizes, probably. Like,
No!
I can mentally be 7 sizes. I will buy sizes that don't even fit me. And I'm like, in what world are like, Grandma will be like, who bought those clothes? And I'm like, me, for my body.
Because I
Lisa.
will fit into them one
Yes.
day. Like,
oh, I do it all the time. Like, I'm gonna
No.
buy a size smaller because I will fit. It's like, no, I never fucking do.
No.
Never. I'm the same size as I was 2 years ago.
I'll buy sizes up.
I mean, I usually buy oversized things because I in my head think that I need to wear oversized things.
It's the only way they'll fit.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I feel like we might have some-
body dysmorphia. It's literal body dysmorphia that I grew into.
I would pay money to see myself the way that like the people who love me see me.
If you saw me the way I saw you, you'd be like,
Wait, did you hear what you just said?
what did I
saw
say?
me the way I saw you.
Oh, if you saw you the way I saw you, if you saw me the way, no, wait.
Oh.
If you saw yourself through my eyes, you'd be like, damn.
It's safe for you. If you saw yourself the way I see you every day, you'd be like, holy hell, I'm the hottest girl in this world.
Yeah, and that's what I think about you, and it's just like, I'm over here boxing against myself.
It's actually, it's so fucked up.
Say you're hot. I want to make it a TikTok noise.
Okay. You first.
Fuck.
It's your idea.
Come
You
on.
go first.
I want to go first.
Yeah, you go first.
I'm fucking hot.
It's so hard.
I'm so fucking hot.
Oh my god, it's like swearing in front of your parents.
Worse. Wait, we've got to be able to. We've got to be able to.
It's
do
like the
this.
penis game.
Yes.
You're
I'm
so
hot.
confident.
I struggle with this department. I can't talk about myself.
I know, which is so weird because you're the most common person I've ever met in my life.
One more time.
I'm hot.
I'm hot. I'm hot. Is that better?
Faster. or
I'm
higher.
hot. Why? Why are you hot?
I'm hot
Why?
because I cannot.
What?
I cannot answer that. I'm
I'm
blushing.
I'm glad I'm not in the hot seat.
Jordan.
Say it.
Oh my.
I know.
Why is it so? Okay, this is so pathetic. This
I'm
is
hot.
so
That's better.
pathetic.
That's better. I'm hot. Go.
I'm
I
hot.
didn't. That wasn't
Yeah.
with conviction at all.
I'm hot.
No.
I'm hot.
I'm hot.
I'm hot.
Yeah, I love doing it for you. There we go.
Yeah, I'm hot.
I'm hot. I'm hot.
I'm
There.
hot.
I'm hot. I'm hot.
I'm hot.
It's like no, I'm hot.
No,
you're hot.
I'm hot.
And she's hot.
Oh wow, that's
Wow.
really hard.
Let's work on it.
Yeah, because the thing is, it's so weird because I just said like you're the most common person I know, and you are. I feel like in all aspects, but you like to you, you're like not in this aspect, which I
No.
would never have known.
Mm-mm.
I up until this week, I never knew you thought this way about your body.
I didn't know you did either. Like we've sort of actually like a couple glasses of wine. We're always like, oh yeah, have I told you about my body image
Yeah.
issues? And we're like, and then we'll both be like, too much. Don't tell me.
Well, and I think the reason why I don't talk about people is because I've learned in therapy, like, I cannot project that onto other people because it's triggering.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people don't know I struggle with it, but then it's hard because sometimes, like, if I make comments, people don't validate those comments.
I think the one thing we have to remember is like everyone deals with it, and like
Mm-hmm.
I know one thing we didn't want to do was trigger somebody because like I can be easily triggered, and I know you can
Oh, God,
too.
yeah.
But like we also I feel like we just shared our own experiences.
Yeah.
Right? Did we do that? It was just
Yeah.
us, right?
Yeah, and it's okay to feel this way. And, like, if you do feel this way, I want you to look in the mirror and say you're hot right
Oh.
now. Do it right now.
I
Right
think
now.
You should even see if you can. Like
Yeah.
that. What a test.
So, like, send us a video on Instagram. Like, DM us a video of you saying it. We won't
Put it
show
on your
anyone.
story.
Yeah.
I'm hot.
Post a selfie.
Hopefully we can make the sound a sound on TikTok.
Yeah, we should make a TikTok after this saying
I'm hot.
it's going around and making everyone in the office say they're hot.
I'm hot.
But why are you hot? What makes you hot?
I like my teeth.
That's a good
My
answer.
smile.
Yeah, that's really
do
cute.
you like your lips?
I do now.
Yeah, I think your lips are great.
Now that I have lip filler, I do.
Hey, you know
Alex.
what?
I mean, sorry. I do.
That's good though.
What do you like? What's hot about you?
I think it's your charm.
That's
And
nice.
your like energy is like hot.
I'll take
Because
that.
I thought you were confident.
Yeah, I do.
I
Obviously your face too.
Your face,
but like
your hair, your
Thanks.
body, everything. Your teeth, your lips, your nose, your eyes.
this is a hard episode for us.
It is.
Yes.
It's also very eye-opening.
Yeah, it is.
Because like also I think confidence truly radiates. Like I think about like when people do wear swimming suits, I think like the hottest people are the people who have like the confidence with it, like the charisma with it. You know what I mean? Like I'm never like, she's a stick thin model. She looks hot. I'm always like the girls who are like, hey, yeah, like shaking their booty. I'm like, they're hot in that bikini.
That
You know what I mean?
I have never, when I was in Miami, I never thought the stereotypical like thin toned. Never once looked at her and was like, damn. But But I did look at the girls with like the good bodies, like the
hell yeah,
the sweat. By good body, I mean the walk,
the swag,
the bikini pulled up to here, the
Yes.
hair. Like she kind of just did herself up, and I was like, damn. You know what? I thought the confidence was hot. You're right.
Yes.
That's the hot body.
Like, it truly, I think we literally forget how much it radiates off people. Like, I can feel your confidence radiating onto me right now.
100%. When you said I was hot, it was
I was like,
were you like,
damn, why didn't you put my sweatshirt on?
I wanted that. I was like,
Yeah.
I want to say that. I was like, I
You
want to try
are.
that.
And I can, like, also feel our confidence lacking. And I'm like, ugh.
Like,
Gross.
ew.
Right. No.
Ew.
Okay.
There's nothing more unattractive than, like, someone not being confident, I think.
Yeah.
100%.
Like,
Thought it out.
Also, like, literally, I swear to God, the older I'm getting, the more I'm realizing looks are literally now 60% confidence.
100%.
Sometimes they're 70.
It's literally. Like, someone's, you know, like the trend where it's like, he's a 10, but he does this. Someone's was like, he's like a 4, but he is like he makes you laugh like crazy, as the best personality. Everyone's like 10. Because it's like, it's all fucking confidence.
Well, yeah, I guess you could reverse that.
Did you
Like,
see
she's
the
a
one
5,
of
but
like
she's
the
confident.
Yeah.
big guy going up to girls and he'd be like, if I was skinny, would you date me?
Yes.
And every girl is like confused, like genuinely confused. They're like, what? Like, I would date you now.
like, what's your personality like?
yeah,
dude?
like it's so like funny, like
Yeah.
that everyone thinks that about themselves. Like, if I do this, then people will like me. But it's like, no, if you're cool, people will like you.
Yeah, like one time, one of my friends was telling me a story about this girl, and they were like, she's like normal looking. Like, no, I mean, she's not like a showstopper. She just like looks like a normal girl, but her confidence is so crazy high that she gets every guy that she ever could want because like her confidence is like immaculate.
Yes.
And we always talk about that. And it's like, why won't I learn?
Would you rather be like stick thin, which is I think our idea of like, I think that's what we're working towards. So would you rather be stick thin or would you be like happy, confident,
Happy,
excited,
confident.
energized, silly?
That, which is so crazy to think about. What about you?
That all day long.
Yeah.
Like, those are the. I'm like, yes, that. I got that.
Because I've been the stick thin, unhappy girl, and I literally was like, it was very sick, and I was very depressed.
grumpy. I was grumpy.
I didn't see. I literally, I remember that time in my life, and I was so messed up. Not my life. I should rephrase that. I was just so sad. Like the situation was messed up that I thought I needed to be this size, and I wasn't even happier.
I just keep asking myself, for who? Like,
For who?
if we're like, I want to be myself, and I don't care what anybody thinks about me, but I do care if they think that my body looks a certain way. It's like, why there?
And like, it's not like Graham cares.
Couldn't care less.
Would-
He wouldn't even notice if I gained or lost 20 pounds. I don't think the man would notice.
No, and he wouldn't care because he loves you for who the fuck you are.
Yeah, yeah. And he like hates to see, you know what's hard on him is for him to see me be like, you know, like late at night, I'm like, I'm kind of hungry. And I'd be like, let's go get something. And I'd be like,
Should we?
literally no.
Yeah.
And he's like, why not? And I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
know. It's one of my rules, you know?
I think a guy that I date has to be so, like, because, like, you know, there's a lot of guys, they, like, say, like, just stupid things about food. They're going to be like, oh, you're hungry again. That's, like, a joke. Like, I have to make sure the guy I date is very aware of not making food triggering comments. Because I've, like, dated guys in the past where they, like, have said stuff as jokes to me, and I'm like, I can't be around you. And then I've had my ex-boyfriend used to do that to me, too. I'd be like, I'm so hungry. He's like, let's go get McDonald's. I'm like, no, it's 8 o'clock. I can't. I already had dinner. And he's like, but you're hungry. I'm like, I already had dinner.
Yeah, I can't. Like, we would say I can't. You know the worst thing I ever did to Graham?
What?
I put him in charge of not letting me eat snacks.
Oh, God.
Like, I was like, if I go to get the pretzels, like, you can't let me have them. And then he told his therapist that I did that, and his therapist was like, oh my God. Like, A, she should eat whatever she wants. B, like, I was torturing him
Yeah.
into, like, being the person that was, like, the scarcity, like, gatekeeper.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, this is the worst thing in the world. Like,
You're going to start hating him.
yeah, they were like, this is, like, bad boundary. And I was like, damn, that's not anybody's problem but my own.
You know what? I've said this a million times, but my favorite thing about this podcast is I truly feel like I leave feeling so much better about myself. Like, I'm going to leave today. Like, you know what's so messed up? This is so messed up, but I'm going to say it anyway. So, we have Alex's birthday tonight, and I was, like, literally planning on not really eating meals up until today because I'm wearing a dress. But I'm so hungry right now that I'm literally going to order a full meal and eat a full lunch today because I need that.
Yeah.
I can tell my body's like, you're so hungry, eat. Like, and that's because I had this conversation with you guys.
Yeah, I think we started doing this podcast because we were supposed to. Like, we had to respond to the video that Dave did, and we had like a certain amount of time. I think we just like put out a video, and I don't even really remember what it was. But it has evolved to like the best hour of my week, probably. Like, we come in here and we just like talk, and you have to be honest and real, but you have to feel good about what you say. But like after this one, like I have the urge to cry, but I don't think I will. But it's like I feel better. Because I feel like I feel less alone. Like, I'm like, you're not the only one that stands in the mirror and is like, you know, like.
Honestly, like, hearing that, like, I have someone next to me who has gotten through it and is, like, on the brighter side of the body image thing, and then having someone who honestly, I would, like, would look at you and be like, I strive to look like you, but no, you struggle and you look at me in a positive light. Like, it's helped me so much. If that made sense?
It makes perfect sense. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's so I definitely will leave here feeling so much better.
Yeah.
And more confident.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and I hope people listening too.
Yeah, I
and
think
guys
so.
too. Like, guys struggle.
Oh, yeah.
Guys do not get enough.
They suffer in silence, I think.
Yeah, they never are
do.
allowed. I know a lot of guys who
Yeah.
struggle with body image, and it's really sad because they don't feel like they're allowed to struggle with body image.
I think swimsuit season's really hard for guys. Taking your shirt off, I think, is something that we think that they're fine with no matter what, because guys, listen to this part. Anytime I see any guy of any shape or size take their shirt off, I literally could care less. I'm like, good for you. Like, you took your shirt off.
I don't care for abs.
No,
I don't give a
guys. I don't.
Yeah, I'm cool, but I don't care.
If you have abs, you know what I think? I'm kind of like, will you relax like a little?
Yeah, like,
Could you
calm
please
down.
Yeah, like have a carb.
Like, good for you, but like, I don't like. Good for you, but it doesn't really change if I'm attracted to you or not.
No,
You
no,
guys.
like, oh, he's hot. I'm like, eat a burger.
When I first moved to New York, I met this guy who was so fucking hot, one of the hottest guys that I've ever like had a chance with, and we went to dinner, and he was like, oh, I can't eat that. Like, I don't want the pasta. I usually just eat like rice and chicken. Like, I don't even like to go out to dinner because I'm so regimented with like my workout routine. And I never saw him again.
No.
Yeah. It was such a turn off because I'm like, one, unhealthy, two, I need to live life.
Wait, no.
Yeah.
What's a
No.
non-sexual part of a male body that you are like so attracted to?
Legs. Shape of a leg, not no
Arms,
muscular.
Hands.
Arms.
Ooh, love you.
Big hand girl.
Really?
Arms.
Oh yeah.
I love like when a guy's like
Like forearms or biceps?
the whole, oh my god,
whole arm?
forearm,
The whole entire arm?
whole arm. But when you see a guy's forearm and you can see like the veins.
Really? I'm a zero muscular is involved in this. It could be the largest leg or the smallest leg ever, but the shape of them, like slightly bowed, I love.
It's hot. Calves. No, but it's an arm for me. Like when I see a guy move and you see like a little bicep movement, I'm like, it doesn't matter if it's big or small. I'm like,
Yeah, just
When
like
I see
that.
them like holding a glass at dinner, I'm like, hey,
Hands!
because like you
Well,
think
it's 'cause it
about
touches you.
Yes,
Not me.
yes.
I have a hand would be my top 5. Like,
yeah.
if Graham puts a hand on
It's
me, I'm like,
actually like it would affect you.
It's like this part of the arm.
it can.
You know
Yeah.
when guys have veins right here?
Yeah.
When I see the
You like
veins.
that?
Do you like when a guy wears a bracelet on that forearm?
No, I'm only a chain girl. I don't
Oh.
love bracelets. You guys don't know how I feel about it. If I see a guy with a necklace,
Say less.
So I love hockey guys because they always wear the necklaces.
Oh.
Don't.
No,
I thought
yeah.
you were gonna say
I
something.
wasn't going to. I did think of that, but no. Okay, I feel like we have done the ears justice.
Yes.
I feel like maybe this is one of our most best friends in your ears.
Yeah.
About
Yeah.
as I mean, I'm mentally like, you don't bring up another subject.
Yeah.
I am complete for the day. I'm hot. I'm so hot.
Wait, Alex,
Me
that
too.
was
I'm
so
so
good.
fucking hot.
Me too. I'm so fucking hot. You guys, that was so good.
Very hard. If we clip just that part, no, it was difficult.
Yeah.
Like, comment, subscribe to podcasts, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. We're massive on Snapchat, so if you have one, go find us there. Leave us a review on Spotify and Apple, and follow us on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, which one day I will do. We love you guys very much.
We love you. That was so good, Alex.
Thank you.
And I hope everyone has a great beginning of their July.